That was all of them that we had on it.
Maybe you can compare that to Mario.
Fucking Aaron's fucking thing. Is that the intro?
Yeah, we have been rolling for the last 16 minutes.
Like,
Nice.
so are we taking over Aaron's thing?
Well, actually,
to be fair,
it's with permission.
It is with permission.
See, here's the thing is, no one can really take over Aaron's show for two reasons. One, he doesn't have a handle on the show to begin with.
You can't take over something that doesn't necessarily help. Sorry.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, he's here in the room!
This is what we're watching, but I'm not there today. No. I've got some relationship commitments to keep. In saying that, what is your favourite movies or TV shows you've seen in the great year of 2020?
Hello, girl.
It was Small Things Like These. Probably one of my favourite movies I've seen this year.
What's one?
In terms of TV shows, probably the ending of Superman and Lois.
And Superman and Lois.
Which I actually haven't finished yet because the very legal sites that I use don't have a copy of it up yet.
Sure.
All they do is audio description over. No, we all watch our stuff lately, is what I'm trying to say. The main thing here is, what have you watched? What have you enjoyed?
Amy, you're not meant to say it to him.
What would make you keep thinking in the year 2025?
I've ripped out part of his beard.
I think it's the inner forum poster in him that, like, you know, is like, oh, shut up. But like, it doesn't mean it, like, you know, it's like, oh,
no,
God.
I mean it.
Yeah, I know. So that was Aaron's little, shall we say,
intro
input into the episode.
Which we're going to ignore completely.
No, entirely, because like he never does an intro to his own show.
No, I think I've done more intros to Aaron shows.
Do you want to do the intro to this one then?
Welcome to what's his show called?
What are
we watching?
Yeah.
Welcome to What Are We Watching?
No, what we watching? He's Cork, you see, so he's cutting out the R. Yeah. What we watching? Yeah.
What we watching?
Yeah.
That's what we watching, boyo.
No, not that bio. Just like keep it. He's Dublinified a bit of it. So you know, it's like what we watching.
Yeah, he actually does kind of want to kill himself. His ma also has not been happy with this. I think she's also mentioned he sounds a bit Jackie.
Yeah. Well, if he's hearing it from multiple sources, you know it's true.
Yeah, that is very true. So,
and it's not just confirmation bias.
Out of curiosity, so actually, okay, so because we always kind of start with Jonathan, and I always kind of.
I'm usually left of the DR anyway, so that's kind of how it works.
We're going to start with KC.
Yeah, fair.
Has there been a particular TV show that you've been binging, or is there something new that you've watched?
Well, it's an old TV show, but I've only seen it this past week.
Oh.
Because I decided to watch Pacific Rim.
Oh, interesting.
You know, just for, big metal robots, smashing giant monsters. I'm a simple man.
Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna disgrace that.
Sons of Anarchy, Jesus Christ, what a show. Anyway, so as a result of Pacific Rim, I watched the anime Pacific Rim Black on Netflix.
I heard that's fantastic.
Did not expect it to kick as much as it did.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Story wise, there's nods, not too many nods, but there's a few nods to the previous works done. So I was happy with that. But I'm on the last 2 episodes now, so I can't really give a full account of it. But at the moment, I'm enjoying it.
It sounds like a recommendation. It sounds like a recommend.
And very binge-worthy. I'll give it 3 Ninja Turtles out of 4.
Oh,
that's a very
high praise from you.
Yeah. I was about to say, because I know like how you feel with the Pacific Ring thing, because I watched the Pacific Ring. Yeah, my lips have decided to fail.
I was like, when you said Pacific Ring, I was like,
I can't. Pacific Ring.
I
have to really.
I was like, do you know what? Either one of those.
None of us has even mentioned ring, and none of us are like wearing any rings that we're fiddling with, like in his eye line.
No.
Do you know what I do love about
do you know what it is?
That actually, even though it is actually called Pacific Rim, like. That already is its own porno name.
Yeah, that's true. No, it's not. I remembered I actually have
Rim.
I had a lot of trouble saying the word
Pacific Rim job.
Pacific Ring job.
That was done a few of the movie posters around town. They just wrote job at it.
Yeah. No,
stay classy, Dublin. Stay classy.
Yeah. No, I think it's more so the fact that I actually have quite a lot of trouble saying the word Pacific, because like for some reason my palate just keeps putting an S before it. It's like Pacific. But I keep saying specific. It's like, why? I don't know why I keep doing that. So
whereas it was Rim actually that you made the error on.
that was just a Freudian slut. So anyway, but yeah, no, I know how you feel about the that show, because I I felt the same after watching the Cyberpunk anime Edgerunners.
That's amazing.
It's so fucking good. Like, now, I knew that Cyberpunk was a bit of a shambles when it came out. The game, that is, just in case you're wondering. And the thing with Edgerunners was that has a tangible effect of people going back to play the game. Because it almost felt like a time where, like, now it's actually time to play the game. Because they brought in a whole lot of, like, extra content. But they've drafted in fucking Idris Elba, of all people. Like, almost like a break glass solution to get people to play it again. You know, that sort of stuff.
Sorry, Idris Elba and
Idris
Keanu
Elba,
Reeves.
Yeah.
Sonic 3 reunion.
Yeah, exactly. That was that. A lot of people made that connection as well.
What was the name of it called again?
Cyberpunk 2077, but the series is called Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Yeah, so my brother Paul actually has the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's been playing the game on this one. I think he actually really got into the game.
Yeah, but it depends on when you kind of released when you played the game, because if you played it at release, it was awful.
Yeah,
it was really bad.
He has the re-release one of it.
Yeah, well, they've worked on it over the last year or so, and it's apparently working really good now. But funny enough, it kind of coincided with, like, they obviously had commissioned the series at the same time to be in a companion piece, and I liked it that like anime in particular is being used to be a companion piece, but you also can get, like, I don't know, it works the other way now, because now Devil May Cry is going to have an anime series out now in April, and I'm actually looking forward to it because I've been playing the Devil May Cry games as well. So I'm wondering if it's going to have the same impact. Like, maybe has it had the same impact with Pacific Rim? I'm not too sure. You know, has it just been a companion piece, or is it more? You know.
Rim.
I know. I mean to say that I can't.
You're too far away for me to slap, so I'm just.
I'm just going to look at you disapprovingly.
I probably won't.
And I don't have anything that I'm willing to throw.
No.
Casey's child.
I'm just not gonna say it again. That's
Which
fine.
I think is funny actually, because I bought that for her, so in
It's
canon,
your child.
in
That you. So
I
it's like,
gave
no,
away.
it's our child that
I
you
gave
gave away. Well, help me not.
So are you
I'm looking after him very
I know.
well.
I'm looking at her very well. I'm going to throw it at my partner.
Go
He
Pancham.
loves it, don't you? Yeah.
The funny thing about Edgerunners as well, they've actually, after Cyberpunk's copped itself on,
Yeah.
there's actually, there's a 1 or 2 deaths in Edgerunners, spoiler,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
but
Control yourself.
you can actually find their
No.
tombstones in the game,
That's true, actually. Yeah, they
Yeah.
got patched in. Yeah.
which
I
is
am an
just,
adult. I'm an adult.
although, you know, when you hear that song, that's
Dirty.
all that's playing in my mind now. It's a song that's,
I really want to stay in your house.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a fuck. Especially when they play at the end, I was like, you fucking, you were so close to getting me going. You were that fucking close.
No.
You said, oh, she wanted to go.
You
Let's go to the
you're
moon.
turning 38.
No.
Like,
You're
but that's the same. But
a
that's the
fucking adult.
But isn't it nice to see, like, that kind of, like, it's a thing it's a
yeah,
style you
there's
wouldn't
4
expect
years,
for, like,
yeah.
like, well, I would put that movie,
We're so mentally
Pacific Rim.
12.
I would
I
put that
actually
movie
do
in
forget that
kind
there's
of like a
a
Michael
huge
Bay
gap
kind of folder.
yeah.
Whereas, like, I know it
big
isn't.
explosion.
Yeah, big explosions, mecha, brah, you know. I for some reason categorize it with the Transformers movies.
Yeah.
And I think I've done it a bit of a disservice. So it's nice that they have an anime that kind of, like,
You know,
know,
justice, yeah.
does it justice, exactly. Yeah.
And especially when it's a new anime like that. The
Yeah.
one thing,
For
because
once,
it's
I'm
new
not
characters, you're
really
like,
I'm almost
there's a bit of a,
like,
I have to get you. I like it, but it means I have to get used to new characters.
Yeah.
Feel for them, and you kind of do
Yeah.
from the off.
That's what I think, because, like, again, it's like, obviously they're trying to establish that there's an actual living world here, so why not throw in new characters? Because, again, I think, like, certain those kind of companion pieces, they know, like, if some people like the movie and not them, you can just disregard our piece. But if you like everything about it, you're
Are
going
you
to
still
want more of
talking
it.
about a TV show, or have you moved on to just games? Cause
No, we're talking about Pacific Rim.
Pacific
Yeah.
Rim.
Yeah.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
so I think, so Amy, what have you been watching?
So I went to see Nosferatu in cinema.
Mm.
I haven't actually been watching TV. I haven't actually been watching any TV shows. I binged. I did a binge watch of a rewatch of, like, Supernatural over Christmas, just to see if I could do 15 seasons in 13 days.
And did you?
I did 13 seasons in 13 days. I fucked up my sleep schedule.
Okay.
I took Christmas Day and Stephen's Day off, so had I not spent time with my family over Christmas, I would have been able to watch all 15 seasons. That was impressive.
As I say,
Once again, I'm impressed by you.
yeah.
Especially because some of those are 20 episodes.
22 episodes a season.
27 is by 40
22
minutes.
episodes over. There was 22 episodes over 14 seasons. There's 16 episodes in season 3 due to the writer's strike.
Yeah.
So I actually watched from nearly 10 in the morning till 4 a.m. for a season. to actually get through most of them, and I hit season 12 and nearly like hit the brick wall, wanted to throw my TV out the window because I fucking hate the Men of Letter storyline, but I powered through and made it to season 13 before I actually had to go to bed at a reasonable hour to get up for work the next day. I then proceeded to watch seasons 13 or 14 and 15. I actually watched them throughout my work day because I'm able to have my thing up next to me. So I did actually finish all 15 seasons, but I would have had them done over the Christmas period had I not taken off those 2 days.
Yeah.
So that was the TV shows I'd binged, which I've already spoken about in length on those ones. So I went to see Nosferatu in the cinema yesterday. I kind of gave the girls a brief breakdown of it. It's very gothic horror sort of thing. So Robert Edgar is oh my god, I can't think
Edgar?
Edgar's, I think his name is.
I'll look at it.
But he's actually the one who directed it. He also directed The Witch and The Lighthouse. So it's very much, you kind of know what kind of vein it's going to be in the right. And if you've seen The Witch, it's very it's very different to what you're kind of expecting. Eggers, thank you. It's very different as to what you kind of expect to be. And then obviously The Lighthouse with Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson is also a very kind of fucked up movie.
I also know that Bill Skarsgård is in it as well, isn't he?
He plays Count Olaf.
Yeah.
So you have Nicholas Holt.
Yeah.
Lily Rose Depp even. Bill Skarsgård. And Aaron Taylor Thompson.
Yeah.
Is in it as well, and Emma Curran. She played Nova in Deadpool versus Wolverine. And
oh, okay, right.
So she's the one who plays Cassandra Nova. She's also in it. So and obviously Willem Dafoe. So it's if you know the story of Dracula, obviously you kind of know the story of Nosferatu because it was purely just a plagiarized version of Dracula.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of remakes on it, but this one seems to be very much following kind of the original kind of standpoint of where it was. It's also still set in Germany, so they did kind of take it out a little bit to still kind of stay away from the Dracula standpoint. It's very, very gothic horror.
Yeah.
Very so do you know the way Tim Burton movies are always done very much in black and white grey colour, and then it's only at the end of it colour comes into it?
Yeah.
So this movie is like, as you're watching it is very kind of black and white.
Yeah.
It does have beautiful sets on it. The sets on this are fantastic. The costumes are perfect for like year frame you're thinking of it. Bill Skarsgård as Count Olaf is phenomenal in the makeup. Like, you don't realise it's him.
Seeing that he was Pennywise in it as well, do you think he'd become the next monster guy like how Doug Jones was?
Do you know what? I actually wouldn't be disappointed in that because he actually can play the parts really well.
Yeah. The
only disappointment so far I've seen with Bill Skarsgård was the Crow remake.
Oh fuck! I forgot he's in that.
Yeah, he plays Eric Draven in that, and I love the Crow. I love the original Crow, and I attempted to watch the remake of it, and I'm like, you know what? This has been changed too much.
Yeah.
To really kind of be enjoyable in a sense, but he's very good in what he does. Now, it's a recommended watch for people who enjoy kind of the horror, kind of like a slow burn horror. I
love that big giant asterisk.
It's not. See, here's the thing is, right? It's not a gory movie, but there is a lot of gore in it.
Yeah.
For what it is, because like, bear in mind, you're thinking of like it's a vampire film.
Yeah.
So I mean, expect there to be vampires drinking blood, sort of thing. And you're not watching a vampire bite someone's neck. It's a lot more kind of graphic in a sense of. So it's a lot more kind of in a sense of you're not going for a neck bite, you're going for a chest bite.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so it's ramped up a bit.
And that's the thing is, like, it's ramped up, but it's also not ramped up. So you're watching the gore, but you're not really seeing the gore. You're uncomfortable as you're watching it, but you're not really seeing an awful lot to it as well.
Are you like shit like with shadows and stuff, is it? Or?
Yeah. Now, this is one thing that I do love. So if anyone has ever seen any of the clips from the original Nosferatu, one of the biggest things of it, except this is the one from like 1922, what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It has the shadow on the staircase.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah.
And the hand and they do that in the movie, but they do it obviously an updated kind of version of how to do it because they no longer have to use that type of sense, and there is an awful lot of kind of CGI work in it, but it's done so fucking well that you don't really care that it's done CGI. Like, it's really well done. So again, you know the story of Dracula. It follows the exact same template. You pretty much have the same characters. Obviously, they're named differently just for copyright. And how it goes. So it is really well done in that sense. So there is gore, but it's not too much gore.
Okay.
Like, you do see something. There's an awful lot. There's more nudity in it than anything.
Okay.
And it's mostly female nudity that's in it, and you're kind of like, huh. There is full frontal in one shot, which is male free frontal, which you're kind of like, oh, I wasn't expecting that to be you're kind of expecting it to be the woman, as it always is. But there is a fair bit of that, and it's just it makes you feel there's certain things in it you do have, like, you feel uncomfortable watching it, but not in a sense of it's kind of like
sense of unease.
Exactly, because you're expecting something to happen, and then it doesn't, but you're still on edge for it, so you're kind of waiting for it to happen, and then when it doesn't, you can't relax.
That's kind of like the original one, isn't it? So, like, there's always a sense of, like, well, what's the word? Anxiety about it. Yeah.
So you're waiting for it to happen, and then it doesn't happen, but you don't feel safe letting your guard down as you're watching it. There's also, I mean, if you're going to go the online route of it, and it opens up kind of a bigger question to consent and coercion and what the metaphor behind the movie actually is, and I'm not going to get into that on this show because look this way, if Aaron was here, Aaron is wrong. So there's no.
I can imagine him watching and going, no.
So, but it's the way it's kind of framed as like, it's even how the Nosferatu kind of says it himself, is that, like, he admits that he's a shadow, and he's very upfront of being like, the main female character is like, well, you can't love, and he's like, no, I can't, but this is what you crave.
Yeah. And
it's very much like she's meant, like, it's like the female shame. Yeah. It's like, this is like, if you take him out as being a vampire and instead you replace him with being desire, or a particular type of desire, and it's kind of like a woman is made to feel shameful for wanting to be with that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of metaphor that it kind of goes into, which is really it is an interesting kind of outlook to have on it. But it is also one of those movies where you're kind of like, if you don't want to fall into the trap of that type of way of thinking, you actually don't have to, because you can't just look at it as for what it is. Like, an awful lot, the way people view movies nowadays is it's very much like there's always a message behind a movie nowadays, and you have to look at it through a more critical eye, and sometimes it is okay to just fucking enjoy a movie.
Yeah,
you don't have to, like, you don't have to dissect this as to what the hidden meaning is into absolutely everything. Sometimes it is okay to just shut off, watch a movie, and accept it for what it is. You don't have to be a critic over everything. You don't have to find every little metaphor or every hidden meaning of it. Sometimes people just want to watch a movie to be entertained, or to be scared, or to just shut off if you're watching Pacific Rim. Like, I'll use that as the example because it was brought up.
No, it's a good example.
You just want to shut off, and you just want to watch mindless entertainment.
Yeah. You don't have to think and watch every minute.
Exactly. Yeah. And the way the reviews and people are reviewing Nosferatu, it's very much like, you have to look at this movie through a fish-eyed lens, or else you're not understanding the movie. And you're kind of like, look, I get where you're coming from, but also, again, I can just shut off. I don't have to fucking relate this to my every fucking day life.
Yeah.
As well. So, while it would be a recommend to the hardcore horror fans in a sense of it's just one to kind of add to your list.
Yeah.
It's not, I wouldn't say it's one of those ones where it's terrifyingly scary, because it's not.
Because as you said, it has the same story beats as most Dracula stories anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you've watched, okay, so it's very much along the vein of Bram Stoker's Dracula, 1992, Francis Ford Coppola with Gary Oldman. It is very, very much in that vein of how they go about it.
Yeah.
So if you can sit down and watch that movie, you can easily sit through Nosferatu and watch it. You can't sit down through and watch that movie, can you? No. Have you never seen Bram Stoker's Dracula? Oh my god, that actually fucking... When I first saw that, I'm pretty sure that's where I had my sexual awakening.
I thought your sexual awakening was Labyrinth, no?
Whichever one came first. To be honest. Fucking Gary Oldman as Dracula is probably one of the sexiest things I've ever seen. There is actually one other one as well, because I had mentioned this to Laura in our group chat. So there was a movie that came out last year called The Last Voyage of the Demeter. And it is actually, it's based off the chapter in Dracula. Yeah. The Captain's Log.
Okay.
It's one chapter in the book, and it's basically done through the captain's log of what happens on the boat from Transylvania to London. That's bringing Dracula over. And it's one of these movies. It is actually a really, really good movie. That kind of fills in the blank if you're kind of curious about it. Liam Cunningham is in it. He actually plays the captain. He plays Captain Elliot in it, and it's one of those ones where it's really, really good for something that's based off 5 pages. In a book that they decided, let's just take this and make a movie on it. It's really, really good. And it also has, so it is a sense of, okay, so this is actually what happened when Dracula was packed up in the box and brought to England. And it is really cool to kind of, I'm glad I kind of have this one, to the extent where I was kind of along the lines of when I watched Dracula recently. I actually watched up to a point. I paused it and I went and I watched the Last Voyage, and then I went back to watching Dracula because I was like, it's kind of cool. It's like, okay, this is now like a 3-hour long movie, but I've kind of like, I've added the whole thing into it. I'm like, I'm happy. All the context, so it's like, I'm actually happy to have this. So I do recommend to watch that one. Again, not to Kira, now not to KC. But I would kind of recommend. I would recommend though for you, Jonathan, actually to give it a go. All right, okay. Because I think you'd actually like it. Yeah. I think you'd like The Last Voyage.
Oh, The Last Voyage, for sure, yeah.
Nosferatu, I'd say you would as well. I'd say you'd be able to enjoy that for what it is. We have a sleepy dog. Oh, no, is it twitching? We have a sleepy dog. We have a dreaming. We have a dreaming dog. We have a dreaming doggy. She's having a fight. She's having. So that would be my recommendation on it. So, Kira, what have you been watching?
I watch a lot of stuff.
We've had a really good Christmas for watching stuff. I'm actually very impressed with us.
So what season of Battlestar have we gotten through?
I'm not watching Battlestar at all.
No.
Star Trek?
No Star Trek.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're back onto NCIS Criminal Minds?
No.
Oh, this is something different altogether.
Yeah.
So.
Holy fucking shit.
So.
Stop the presses.
You already know one of them.
I can't remember.
I started trying to watch the Harry Potter baking show.
Wizards of Baking, I think it is.
Yeah. They're very much style over substance.
Oh.
Very, very much.
I think Kira will take the lead on this one.
I watched. I think I got through 2.5 episodes.
Yeah, because I came back from work as you were doing the starting the second or third episode.
I just want to point out it's been renewed for a 2nd season. There's no real this is a show. There's no real
incentive. Yeah, it's on a streaming service, so take it or leave it. Like.
No, I don't even mean by that. It's like, it's very much like, what's the point of this sort
What's
of thing?
the reward?
Like, what are we actually what are they actually going for in this? Now, I will say this: some of the cakes that they make on it, some of the designed ideas that they have for the cakes on this, for example, the one that had the spider made out of like macaroons that actually moved around. That's impressive. That's well done. That's good. I like that. That's cool. But what are we getting out of this at the end? Also, how they did how team people won around.
Now, that's the issues we were having.
Take the first section where they were, what was it, 9 teams?
Like six teams in from 9. I
right,
think it is.
so let's say so there's 9 teams. People starting off, 6 people get through.
Yeah.
And they're literally tasting them one by one in a sense. So not everyone has even completed their cakes, or not all the teams have even started yet.
That's how they put it together.
They're already picking teams to go through. I was like, okay, so you actually can't do that unless you've already actually tasted all the cakes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And you're just editing it.
And you're editing it to a way where it looks more kind of mysterious to an audience. And do you know the thing is, American audiences eat that shit up.
I think, Kira, you sussed out why they did it in a staggered way. It was space. Because they only had
6 tables.
They had 6 counters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, we not.
Like,
No.
we all well know that.
Yeah, I know that. That's what I'm saying.
Anybody who watches a baking show or a cook competition would well know that.
No, that's what I'm saying. But like the issue, the mistake that they made though was that it's probably the first big red flag in the show. From at least what I watched. I think you had an episode ahead of me when I came back. So it means again with through osmosis, I've seen a bit of MasterChef, bit of Bake Off, and a few other shows in between. You started off the Pottery Showdown last week.
Yeah, I was going to start that next. Yeah.
Yeah, but the beats of how to make this show is kind of like is fairly evident. Like it's kind of hard to fuck up this formula at this point.
And yet they do.
And yet they do, because okay, granted you have a staggered approach for like having the kitchen space essentially to make up your cakes and whatever else is, and you have a certain bit of premeditation to what they're going to be making and stuff like that. That's fine, nothing wrong with that.
And half of them came in like full on pretending they didn't know.
Yeah,
let's make this organic, and then it was like, oh well, sure we know this is what we've talked about.
Yeah, it's like they didn't know that the set was going to be there. It was like you're in fucking Universal, so you know where you're going. Like it's not fucking
London.
Like,
They're in
They're in London.
the
Sorry,
cake.
yeah. Universal
Yeah,
London.
no,
Yeah.
we're talking about the cake. So no, for them to go and to be taken back by the sets, that's well and good.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
No,
we'll
it was
take
actually like it was the
It's
big
them
something.
pretending not knowing what type of cake they were going to be making is the issue. Because they already do know. It's the same way
They
when
would have Sorry, the news.
it's the same way when you watch Bake Off. Like
Yeah.
Bake Off, they already know what they're baking. Or
Yeah.
when they're just shows
Like,
up,
they don't-
they've already practiced it. They know what they're baking.
Oh, yeah,
but
and
they
that's
don't-
fine, yeah.
They don't hide it.
Yeah, they don't hide
Yeah.
that fact.
Nor did they try and make a song and dance about it. They just kind of skip past and go, right, let's move along. And the problem is that I think this show tried to make a song and dance about it, but also just kind of like
Yeah.
let the kayfabe kind of break itself by
The
itself.
thing is though, as well, again, this is the reason why you say this is on a streaming service,
Yeah.
that it's on American cable TV.
Yeah.
It's only streamed
God.
to outside the US or the streaming ones.
Right.
And if you watch American cake baking shows, I'm not talking about MasterChef, but American cooking shows, they eat this shit up.
Mm.
So it is towards the American audience. It's
Well,
not done towards an English audience
Yeah.
or a European audience, because we're on par to the bullshit.
Well, even that, right? Even the formatting things.
And
okay,
again,
you can
it
take
got
that.
renewed. I just want to point out, it
Yeah.
has been renewed for a second season. It's a success.
I can't believe that.
So
I genuinely
I
can't
just
believe that.
And again,
Yeah.
you're not its target audience.
Oh, I know that.
And I'm saying that not as because you're not American. You're not its target
Well, I'm
audience.
not American. I'm not like a cooking show fan, and I'm not a Harry Potter fan. So like, now don't worry, I guess look into MasterChef Australia, because like I'll pick my.
They're
I'll
so
pick,
fucking lovely.
I'll pick my boy. And it's like that. He's gonna make it. That fucking butcher's gonna make it to the top.
Eric and the fucking quail egg ravioli.
Is that a novel? James and the Giant Peach, Eric and the Quail Egg. Ravioli.
I'm going back 5 years. 5 years I'm going back.
Go back even further. Go back even further. The strawberry champagne risotto.
Right. So me and Kira have this thing that we enjoy to watch. And I'm not talking about just in general. Like, me and Kira enjoy watching cooking shows. And MasterChef Australia is the shit.
It
right?
is the pinnacle for me.
Right? With regards to the MasterChef franchise, MasterChef Australia is top fucking dog. And I will fight anybody who has anything else to say on this. However...
I'll go get my rings.
Right? Right? I will say this, however, right? MasterChef Australia has probably some of the most wholesome and nicest contestants you will ever come across on a competition, right? And I say competition like this because it is a competition.
Yeah.
But everyone is like, "What? You forgot the butter? Here's 40 pounds of mine."
Straight from my
right there, like I'll fucking churn it for you myself. Like that's what they're like,
I
right?
can't get the lathe to work.
Right?
During the final, I can't get the lathe to work, and the other two finalists
Rush
come
over to help.
Yeah.
and
right?
show her how to do it. Do you need another apple?
Like that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, yeah.
If you watch the American version of MasterChef, it's like, shit, has anyone got any spare butter? No. No.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
And then
They'd
the
be more
English one,
likely to kind of like What's the word?
Sabotage.
Oh yeah,
Sabotage,
sabotage, right? And then the English one is done in such a staggered way that all the contestants aren't ever really together.
Yeah.
Until they're doing like a team thing, right? So the British one, the English one is far too staggered out for them to be arseholes to each other.
Yeah.
They're just more like, oh my god, I'm after cooking my ring into the meal. Oh, you're a tonic.
What
You're
whimsy.
out.
What whimsy.
Right? But then you have the other side of the down under type shows, right? And I said this to Kira before. I said to her, have you ever watched My Kitchen Rules New Zealand? And she's like, no, I don't think I have. And I went, all the lovely people are in Australia, all the cunts are in New Zealand. Right? Because My Kitchen Rules is basically there's two teams, one house, house.
Okay.
And they are the most backstabbing bastards I've ever come across, right?
Fantastic.
So the way, oh no, that was the newest series. So one of the original series that I watched for My Kitchen Rules was you have two chefs, for each people are a team, and you're going to our house for dinner, and they'll do the dinner, and then everyone judges them that way, and they're wankers. Like, one team was like, one of the girls on another team started sleeping with one of the lads on another team.
I beg your pardon?
Just to find out what they were cooking.
What?
So they could like, okay, we can beat these guys.
What?
Sort of thing, honest to God. And then they all end up teaming up. And then the other thing, so then it's like, well, we know that you two are fucking one another. And she gets really defensive over it, like, how dare you? No, I wasn't. And then it's like the producers will do the recap of her leaving his bedroom.
I'm sorry, but that's absolutely
like,
phenomenal. That is
brilliant.
That's
right?
phenomenal.
It's, honest to God, it's the best fucking thing I've ever seen.
It's like
I'm gonna go watch it.
Oh, yeah,
it's like Come Dine We end up in the fucking threesome. That's ridiculous.
It's
like
fucking hilarious. I was like, girl, you need to watch fucking My Kitchen Rules. New Zealand.
That's on your list.
Right? The next thing is, I can't even tell what season it was because I haven't seen a new season since, so I don't even know if it got renewed.
It might have
again,
peaked at that point.
Right? But honest to God, it was fucking one of those shows where I'm like, this is the greatest shit ever. It's like all the lovely people are in Australia and all the wankers are in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Based on just their cooking shows.
But it could even just be who they, like, as it were, cast
Oh,
in
it is.
as well.
It is.
What energy do you want to do?
The producers
definitely do it that way.
It's the same with Big Brother.
Oh, yeah.
It's like what personalities, what clash
like,
we put together.
I don't know if I'll make this part, but the fact that, like, right, so even for Big Brother, perfect example.
This week, I'd like to eat salad.
Oh, they said this week and like one.
No, so even Big Brother, as an example, right, they have to pick people, they have to cherry pick people that they know is going to clash. You know one person they rejected for Big Brother once?
Was there someone in the Irish wrestling team?
Applied for a Big Brother and was turned down.
Was it somebody in the Irish wrestling? Edit that shit out, but oh my god, they missed a fucking beat.
Didn't they just?
I will say this, and do definitely edit this out. Had Justy been in that, he would have ended up killing himself after leaving.
Oh god, I'd say he would have killed somebody in there.
Mentally that would have fucked him up.
You know, but that's the same. So anyway, thank you. But yeah, the issues.
I know you.
But the issues with the issues even with like the Wizards of Baking. So as Amy said, like the formatting things are okay. You might attribute some of it down to it being an American format. But what I can't abide is the actual winners of the first round are fundamentally incorrect. Just fundamentally wrong.
Oh,
like
not being able, not turning on your oven.
Yeah, not turning on your oven.
Too much gelatin in the gel.
Yeah.
Is it,
having the leaves on the wrong way, on like the little chocolate leaves, you're trying to make a vine and you have the leaves on back to front.
Oh, scales. The
scales, that's what it was, yeah. And you know what, Casey? They were all the same fucking team. And they got through to the next round.
It just...
Fucking ludicrous.
Oh, it's such a high standard. You haven't even taken
They keep
them on.
saying that. They kept saying that.
Such a high... It just repetition, as if like if we say it enough, you're going to believe me.
Yeah, it was like...
You haven't proven it. This is just basic shit.
It's bad. It was bad editing and bad producing because and I
can't remember whether the cakes were overbaked or underbaked. I can't remember which.
One was overbaked.
I think too much eggs as well.
Yeah.
It was just so bad. Do you want to read the power bank?
Yes, I do.
Do I need a cable?
No, the cables are in the back.
In the back.
Oh, hello. Hello, darling.
But yeah, like that. So, but the fact that like those 4 issues you mentioned are all on the one team, and they got through to the next round, whereas one that to me as a fucking muggle, would say, okay, this looks perfectly equitable as a cake, as a very decorative, stylized cake. It looks perfectly fine. What's wrong with it? And they just to come out with this fucking like this line straight out of fucking British politics. Like, oh, it's a very high standard, you know, we have to watch out for this. And they just parrot that line over time without any evidence to show it.
It was as if they'd already chosen who was going to go through no matter
They
what.
100%
Yeah. Oh no,
did.
but that's the thing is,
100%.
and that's the thing I was kind of saying, because of the way they have them staggered out, been like, there's 9 teams, we're only going to pick 6, and like we're literally picking people before some teams have even started and they finish their cake. So they already have tasted cakes, they already know which teams are going in. And the whole reason why they're cooking now is literally just to show the audience something.
But even then, even if they just had they not like shown them in a staggered manner, they just showed all the cakes at the same time.
That's what they should have done. But
done.
again, the funny thing is though as well, it's like for an American audience is that builds tension.
Yeah, and that's
why they do it, and that's what they thrive on.
And that's why you as a country are wrong.
And do you know what else?
Very strange.
Yeah.
Do you know what else actually is a great TV show to watch? Lego Master Builders, Australia.
Okay.
E4 have it. It's on demand at the moment.
Oh, I've seen a clip of it actually.
Right.
Yeah.
I highly recommend watching this because some of the shit that they build on that is fucking phenomenal, and it's so greatly done. And you actually have no idea
What the
who was
building?
going to win.
Oh.
Like one of the ones that won was they built a Titan.
Okay.
Coming up from he's basically walking through lava with an entire town on his back.
That's class.
Oh wow.
At a slant.
So these are original Lego works.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It
even
is
better.
phenomenal.
I think you might want to add that to your list as well.
To the extent where I'm actually going to see if I can find a clip of it.
Yeah.
Just to show you what it looked like because it is
Fleming.
phenomenal.
Are you done? You getting down? Yeah, she's getting down.
So that was one thing we watched.
I've started watching the newest season of The Great Pottery Throwdown, which I love.
Is that the one with the
Sister Mary hosting? She's she's very funny. Very good. Now.
It's so fun. It's the same format and style as all of the Great British Bake Off, Sewing Bee, Pottery Throwdown.
There's an art one as well, isn't there? Portrait artist or something.
That's a different
That's a
brand.
knitting one, is there?
Yeah, there's a knitting one.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, with your man Tom.
Tom Phil.
He's a comedian.
Oh yeah, that's
comedian.
new. Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
Does he not do the sewing one?
I thought that was Tom Daly. No.
There's the Great British Sewing Bee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a knitting one, so I'll have.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of sewing then. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I knew he did it. I wasn't sure if it was sewing or knitting.
There's rumours of a knitting one. That's why I was like, I thought I missed it. So basically, there's these. The judges themselves are lovely. One of them started out as the pottery assistant, who puts the stuff into the kilns and stuff like that. And the other is just. Am I boring you?
It's like that is actually the most like.
Right.
Aaron's still here.
Aaron
is still here and sits on his phone. He's just fucking sleeping.
So, part of why I love it is it's the same format.
She falls asleep when you watch them.
No.
She's not even here. She only fucks off to the house. It's because we have a crowd in. She doesn't want to leave. She has FOMO. Sorry.
So, they know what they're going to be. The main make is for the week, and then they get a challenge in the middle. It's been like one of them was to make a candlestick holder blindfolded on the wheel, stuff like that. Yeah, it's brilliant.
I like that.
And it's great fun. So the judges themselves are part of what makes it. Everybody's really like, again, it's like MasterChef Australia, really supportive of each other. They're the artsy kinds usually.
Yeah. The free spirited ones.
Do me a favour and pull up on your phone the sheep.
Oh yeah, I'll get that one now. Yeah.
So the first make was they had to make a salad bowl set.
Oh.
So it's the salad bowl, plate, the spoon and fork. I think that was it. So maybe something else. And not the guys one, but so the judges. One of the guys is lovely. Just he started out as the pottery assistant and is now one of the judges. Really supportive. I love how he did this. All the technicalities of it. The other guy is another master potter. He's always the one who demonstrates.
The handle itself is woolen.
Oh, good lord!
Like, how cool is that?
Oh, he is Potter of the Week.
Yeah.
Oh, it seems to be a jug that has the dressing.
The jug, yes, the oil jug. But the So
That's
for the the task that they come into that they don't know, he demonstrates it how they have to do it, including being blindfolded. So like he shows them every week essentially that he is a master potter. So but he goes around with his bucket of doom. These haven't been fired. They're still just clay. That is
There's
just
the
sitting
full
out,
set.
and he is ruthless. That's pants into the bucket. Oh no! Oh look at that one. That's no. Into the bucket it goes.
I'd cry.
And they're like, take him away.
No, sorry,
Take him away. But what's hilarious is that's as ruthless as he gets.
Yeah. And it's always a little
Because
down
then
for laughs as well, though.
They bring up his they bring up their main makes, and they take off the cloth, and they haven't even seen what they've made or whether or not it survived the kiln until they take it off. So one of the girls was like, she wasn't happy. She burst into a flood of tears. It's not how I wanted it. So he pulls out the box of tissues, gives her some, has some. He's like, it's in the contract. And because as soon as somebody starts crying, he's crying. If somebody makes something that is exceptional, like that the one that was the first Potter of the Week,
Yeah.
he's in a flood of tears because he's so proud, and he just gets so emotionally invested and interested in what they do. It's just hilarious. And Sister Mary, what's her name?
Nah, fucking Don. Michelle something.
No.
No, it's not.
We'll remember afterwards.
Yeah. Insert here, please. But she is the funniest. Some of the innuendos,
Yeah,
outnuendos,
you
all
do
of
see
them.
them on the thing.
They're
it's
hilarious.
class.
They're just a lot of fun. So that's one of the things we do.
That will do.
Yeah, Siobhan McSweeney.
Siobhan
you.
McSweeney.
Siobhan McSweeney. That's Sister Michael. But yeah, very good host for it.
Oh,
She
so
definitely
funny.
she adds a lot of her own personality into it, like.
No dirty bottoms.
Yeah, she's
So that's one thing. We actually we've had a decent record. So like movie wise,
Wicked.
Wicked, yeah.
talked about that last.
We talked about that
Did we?
last time.
I can't remember.
Um,
I'm still in the January phase of the week's melding.
Yeah, no, we do. I do because me and you kind of went off more in a conversation of that than the lads did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we do Wicked.
yeah. And then another movie you watched then was the 8666.
No. 6888.
I keep doing that. I keep doing that.
So do I. I keep getting the numbers wrong.
Yeah.
6888.
6888. Yeah, you're right.
That's I really enjoyed it. It's the World War II.
World War II. You're right. Yeah.
It is a battalion of black women in the US Army. Who, of course, they didn't want in the army. Who basically, I don't know either. That's why I'm like, what the fuck? Even Tina woke up for that. But so during the war, they had a major issue with post and getting post to the soldiers and getting the post from the soldiers to where it needed to go.
You said this was World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If this is something that they still didn't figure out even by the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
I think they said they had a massive backlog essentially because it was just that after the D-Day landings.
Yeah.
So this would
Okay,
have been,
you can understand that.
Yeah.
Vietnam was a very different story.
Yeah.
They literally had just the random taxi drivers delivering Western Union,
which is mad.
telegrams to basically say your husband's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
that's fucked up.
Yeah.
And in fairness, that movie actually kind of delves a little bit into that as well. It kind of it doesn't. It acknowledges that. It understands that bit. Yeah. Sorry. So.
But it was so good. It has your one from Scandal,
Kerry Washington.
Thank you. And a couple of other high profile black actresses whose names escape me.
I actually have them in front of me here.
Thank you.
So we have.
I can see the faces.
Are they Hidden Figures actresses as well?
No.
By any chance? Okay, so it's
No.
not the one I'm thinking of then.
So so we have Kerry Washington as Major Charity Adams,
Mm-hmm.
and then Lena King was played by Ebony Obsidian.
Yeah.
Captain Campbell was played by Milana Jackson. Bernice Baker was played by Kylie Jefferson.
That's the one I was thinking.
Johnny May was played by Shanice Shante.
That's who.
Yeah.
She's a singer.
Yes. Dolores Washington was played by Sarah Jeffrey. And then Oprah Winfrey featured as well. I think she was executive producer in it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. President Roosevelt was played by Sam Waterston of the Newsroom fame and various other shows over the years. He's the one who looks like Eugene Levy, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's the other
He's the other one.
And then Dean Norris was the racist cunt in it, essentially, and he plays it very well. To be fair.
It's a very good story. They go a little bit off. It's not completely accurate.
Yeah.
Because sure, we all know racism just doesn't exactly disappear.
It's like in Hidden Figures when Kevin Costner knocks down the
White
sign,
savior,
and then all of a sudden that's the end of racism. Well done.
Yeah.
What the fuck,
No, that never happened.
Yeah.
That part annoys me. I wanted more. Because it is based, there's only 2 of the women left alive when they were making it. One of them
Was it 3? There's 2 survivors from the.
One of them passed away.
One of them passed away during, yeah. So it's 2 survivors.
The director brought it over to her, and they watched it on his laptop. Before she passed away.
Oh, that's actually quite nice.
Yeah.
But it's based mostly on true story. And things that happened. They marched from Edinburgh.
Yeah.
To.
I think it was
Birmingham. I think it was.
Yeah, it's Birmingham. I think it is. Yeah. Let me just confirm that. But yeah, because they touched down in Edinburgh, and the fascinating thing was because they were basically so vilified in the States for being black women, and then they kind of touched down in Edinburgh, and kind of no one really gives a shit because as many people kind of point out at that point, you had the Windrush boats coming in, so that was it was relatively commonplace in a sense. It wasn't and also it was a war effort as well. Britain were in the fucking were targeted. They didn't have time to
We don't have time to be racist.
We don't have time
but
for
if you're
racism.
Still here at the end, we'll get around to it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But that was it.
They.
Father Ted name.
It goes through them figuring out what to do and what little shit they were given to actually deal with it. And the absolute mammoth task that they had ahead of them. CGI in that part wasn't the best when they were trying to show you all of the different hangers. But other than that, it was a really enjoyable watch. They added in the scene at the end where the girls get an acknowledgement after they come home. They're walking through what would isn't said to be but is meant to look like kind of Grand Central. It's the 6. Are you the 6888? And that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Sure, Jackie Robinson was still vilified when he got home after the Olympics. So
I'm kind of surprised that Babe Ruth actually wasn't as vilified. Motherfucker was branded a hero.
Yeah.
I was did they just kind of forget that he's half black?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but it suits them. Yeah. It's always the optics of it. It's a face of again. It's I
will actually say this as well because I brought that up to random other people. These are actually the only 3 people that have actually have known that he was half.
Yeah.
Everyone else assumes he's white.
But again, it's the.
I just want to point out usually only 3 people that seem to know that in the entire world.
Yeah. But it's historical revisionism at its finest.
The amount of people that have no idea. Americans, English, Irish, no matter where you go in the world, because no one.
And I'm not even a baseball fan.
It's never mentioned that he's black anywhere.
Yeah.
I've never actually come across anybody who seems to know this.
But
I've had it mentioned somewhere because I've obviously picked it up somewhere.
It was a
but
picture.
It's somewhere that's been buried.
It's literally. Do you know what it was? There's one picture circulating of
or
people
a stat
of
somewhere.
one person giving him a dirty look because he's sitting in the black segregation area. And that's literally the only way people seem to remember this. But it's because of how good he played baseball. They decided let's just stick to the white history.
But that's always the way.
There was actually another movie that I'd watched on my mother's recommendation, which I very rarely do, and it was called 12 Mighty Orphans.
Okay.
And it is a true story. Again, it's a biopic that actually starred Luke Wilson and Martin Sheen.
All right.
Of a football coach in Texas who took a job at a orphanage and decided to make a football team
Right.
out of these orphans because they were all basically going to age out of the system in a sense. And it's basically like getting them set up, teaching them how to play football and being able to get them into a high school league because technically they weren't allowed to play baseball. Or football even, sorry. And it's based his kind of fight to get them into a league around to with the other high schools, which the people who ran the orphanage, well, one in particular is kind of very much set against having them in it because he's using the orphanage as his own little sweatshop.
Yeah.
And them playing football gets in the way of him making a profit and stuff. It also then at the end of the movie, it actually tells you what the lads did afterwards.
Right.
It was set, I think it's set just before World War II.
Okay.
So an awful lot of them did end up going to war.
Yeah.
As you can imagine. But I actually recommend it. It's a real easy viewing type movie. It's a nice kind of story in a sense. I really like football biopics because I don't know what it is. I do enjoy watching American football anyway, but I love watching an L football pick.
The story behind the kind of thing, yeah.
We Are Marshall is another really good one. That's Matthew McConaughey, and that was literally them kind of true story of them having to start from the beginning after their football team was killed in a plane crash.
Geez, very similar to the Busby Babes then.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's proper, like, and again, it's not it's a high school football team.
Yeah.
That were killed, and it's basically Marshall trying to come back from that to kind of get through to a season because football is life in America, like we know this. But that's actually a really good. We Are Marshall is a really good one as well. But 12 Mighty Orphans, it's actually it's a nice one to have in the background. Luke Wilson's really good in it. Martin Sheen is funny. He actually has some really good kind of points in it. You know your man. He's in. I can't believe I'm fucking pulling an Aaron, but he's in Seinfeld. What's it? Oh, he's Jerry's enemy, Needleman or something like that. But he also plays Ned in Jurassic Park. He's the whole reason that the park ends up being fucked up. That guy, you know who he is. You know when you see the fat guy with the glasses. Him. So he's actually in it. He plays the one who runs like the sweatshop aspect of it. And he's such a fucking prick. But it is a nice watch to kind of have on in the background. It's like when you watch like Remember the Titans. Yeah. And like there's an awful lot of Remember the Titans that's very much kind of.
It's a very ubiquitous title.
It's very much like we're going to show you the good aspects of what happened, because Coach Boone, while he might have, it is true that he did get them. To their championship, to their winning victories, like their winning streak. He did do all that, but don't forget, it's like he also was still a high school football coach, and they're not known to be the most chill dudes.
No, unfortunately not.
But like, Remember the Titans is also one of those. It's actually a really good, and it's a Disney movie as well. So like, take it with a grain of salt, and it's like fucking watching Cool Runnings. Although that one doesn't really have the white savior complex in it. If anything. When the character that goes, there's a character, there's Bill Yost, who's played by Bill Paxton. He goes to basically be the white savior in that movie. And Denzel Washington as Coach Herman Boone, he literally shoots it down so quickly and goes, "Don't you fucking do that to him. Don't you fucking take him under your wing." Yeah. It's like, I do this to the white boys and you don't do that to them. Don't try and save the black boys. And it shoots down, you're kind of like, wasn't expecting that. Petey Jones, who's played by Turk. So it's like, if you haven't ever watched Remember the Titans, jump on that shit. Yeah. Remember the Titans is a fucking class movie.
I haven't watched it in ages.
Watch it again, especially when you realise that Cheryl Yost is Hayden Panettiere.
When you were talking to him about that movie there, I was trying to think of the one. I
haven't watched it since before I would have recognised some of the.
Oh yeah. Especially like fucking Opie from Sons of Anarchy is Gary Bertier. Jesus. Ryan Gosling is in it. Yeah. Sunshine, I can't think of what his real name is. Who's in it? Like Ethan Serpel, big fat guy from My Name Is Earl.
Oh yeah, I know.
He's in it. Yeah. So like, you'll literally kind of look and be like, oh,
it's a hell of a cast.
It was a proper cast.
The movie I when you were talking about that movie there where they all died in a plane crash, I was trying to think. I was 99% sure that there was a movie made about the Munich air disaster, which involved the Manchester United team. And it's called United, 2021. Now I haven't watched it, but I'm sure Aaron has. You'd imagine he has.
Why not?
I think it has David Tennant in it. But yeah, that whole thing. I can imagine that's a fascinating.
Was that not the Damned United, or was that a different?
No, the Damned United is about Leeds.
Oh, that's what Martin
That's
Sheen.
about Brian Clough's
Sheen.
Leeds, yeah.
Yes,
And it
Michael
has
Sheen. Sorry,
Stephen
yeah.
Graham.
Sorry.
Yeah. No,
Jesus
you're right.
Christ,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
David Tennant and Michael Sheen would be happy to know that they're being like fucking mixed up for
Yeah. Oh, he knows me. But yeah,
I drew this pineapple.
But
I painted this picture. Like fuck, you did.
But one of the people,
Love that.
but one of the like when the thought across is like because again biopics is going to come up again in a minute because one movie I'd love to see about because I think he has a fascinating history is Bobby Charlton. Actually, the both brothers actually have fascinating histories.
Yeah.
Because Bobby himself is a survivor of the Munich air disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which one was Jack Charlton again?
Jack Charlton was his brother. He became the Irish manager.
I just wanted you to say the name just so I could do the
Yeah, that's
the
great. That's
Jackie's
great. Good. Now we've established that.
We're all part of
Jackie's
Jackie's
army. We're all on the Disney. And we'll really shake 'em up when we win the World Cup. 'Cause Ireland is the greatest football team. There has never been a point where we've ever been the greatest. Maybe Saipan. That's about it. That was where we were close. Well, we were close. In fairness, if Mendieta didn't score that penalty, we were on the way. So
we're gonna have to edit this out.
But yeah, but like Bobby Charlton in particular, I'd say is a fascinating subject of a biopic, especially football.
The Charlton family.
Yeah, the Charlton family themselves. I say because Bobby himself, a survivor of the Munich air disaster, his whole team, the people, like his brethren, all gone in one fucking thing, and he has to come back from that. Mm-hmm. And they had to when they win the league, they had to rebuild a team, and come back and win fucking leagues. Like it's insane. Mm-hmm. How do you come back from that? You know. That's better. But
don't even try.
No. I was trying to think of something. Sorry. Fish and chips.
This was uploaded 17 years ago.
And it's still good today.
But like, just to cycle back a little.
Yeah.
Like, and not to be included. Like, like saying that like Babe Ruth, people are like, oh, you know, we're not talking about that thing. It's black.
Yeah.
Yep. Great example. Yeah. The Bab, you thinking of?
No, people didn't recognise him.
Yeah.
Because they didn't like him. They recognised it.
Yeah, true.
What's his face? Outside Brussels.
Fill in it.
Thank you. I could see the words, couldn't get them out.
Yeah, but that's
again, like.
There is one on him.
There is one on him. Yeah. There is.
There is one. There's one coming out.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, that's why it was.
No. I mean, like, he's another person that like. They rarely.
They forget. They
rarely mention. They conveniently don't mention that he's black.
Yeah, that's
like,
actually another
until
thing
they
well.
want to actually give him shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
yeah.
actually,
it comes up as
it is actually one of those faces though as well, considering that oh my god, where the fuck is it? It's on Abbey Street.
Yeah, it's the trade union Unite.
Yeah, they still have it. Like, and the fact is, not racist. So I think that
Mm-hmm.
we are a very racist country, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But like, that's kind of like where we're at on that one. I take it back on this one. There has been a few movies with regards to it. But I'm kind of thinking of the most recent one is actually it was a documentary and it was in 2020.
Okay.
There was another few movies that kind of came out with regards to musicians, but I think it was actually the Jimi Hendrix one.
Yeah.
It was Andre 3000 that played him, but I could have sworn that there was going to be a Phil Lynott.
I've heard there's one coming out as well, but again, like
it could be just stalled at green light stage.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so Bobby Charlton was a fascinating one. Same with Jackie, because like the two of them, Jack Charlton has one of the most beautiful lines ever in from what I've ever heard. I think it was Jack who said it. Could be, but I can't remember. I think it was Jack. It was Jack who said it.
There is a musical. Moonlight, the Phil Lynott Enigma, a new musical
That's-
about Tin Lizzy.
I think that's what I was thinking of.
Will
Moonlight.
premiere in Dublin next April.
That's what I was
And
thinking
that was
of.
an article from November
Yeah.
2004.
It was the musical.
24, so.
Yeah, that's what it was.
The Long Goodbye was 2022.
Yeah. But yeah, so like Jack comes out with this huge thing. I think like Bobby Charlton wins the Ballon d'Or, I think it is, or no, he wins some sort of like lifetime award for football, and Jack Charlton is the one to hand it to him because he was the host for it, and he goes, "This is Bobby Charlton. He is my brother, and he's the best footballer that's ever lived." And the fact, but the way he framed it is that like it's like, this is Bobby Charlton. I am his brother Jack, and he is the best footballer that's ever lived. I think that's such a beautiful way of saying it. So like, I like it, like Jack was saying, I'm humbled the fact that I am related to who I think is the best footballer to ever live. I was like, that's actually beautiful way of saying it. But okay, so yeah, but yeah, 688 was good. Was a good watch. It definitely had a couple of like pieces that are taken out and to be like truncated. Like it's very I'd say it takes a few beats out of certain shows that like knows like this is going to be a scene uploaded separately, and then it's like it uploads all the small victories are like the ones that go viral. Where as I say, the Major Adams was just going to go fucking mental on this white guy, and he fucking deserves it as well because the entire context is like he's been an institutionally racist shithead, Quail Surprise in fucking 1940s America, but. And the overall movie then gives the whole context, but like as I said, like it's just constantly like it is the overall tone of it, and ultimately it's also a movie that doesn't also kind of do the cheap thing of saying like, and now everything is fine. It doesn't do that.
It does a little bit.
It does like to a certain degree, to a small degree. Yeah. That's the only thing.
That's the final scene.
That's the final scene.
That's
like,
how it ends. So yeah, it does try to say everything's okay.
Yeah.
By fading to black.
Yeah, or at the very least they were acknowledged.
Star wipe.
Yeah.
But like,
but that's it. So
I have a question then for us. So biops seem to be kind of the movies that we're all kind of related most to.
Yes.
Yeah, particularly especially because the next one he's going to talk about is Senna.
Yes. So Senna is what we've watched recently.
Okay.
So this is now. So there's two Sennas on the go here. There is Senna, the documentary that was made about 10-15 years ago.
The one that has the crash in it.
Senna, the new one has the crash in it. Well, actually, they both have the crash in it. To be fair.
No, but Senna actually uses like the real footage, though, doesn't it?
Both of them do.
Oh, okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Because
Now,
I have seen one of them.
Yeah. The first Senna documentary kind of pulls its punch on the actual impact of the crash. It just fades.
Yeah.
Like it just smash cuts away from it. Whereas the Netflix series kind of does the origins of Senna and everything up in between, and then the last episode is
I know
the last race.
I know I've seen a documentary on it because my friend Helen we were at her house and she was like, "Oh, let's watch this."
Yeah.
And because I'm a guest in her house, I can't really say no.
You say no in every other house.
Yes, because I feel more comfortable saying no to you. I've known Helen a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And Helen's one of those people, if you say no to Helen, she'd be like, "Why? What have I done? This is something wrong? Do you want me here? Should I go? Do you want me? I'll do this." Kira's grown out of that significantly. So she can look at you all she fucking wants, but I know. Kira,
oh no, she's looking at me because like that. You're just serving me now.
Kira knows where she stands with me now. So the fact that if she starts questioning us, I'd be like, "Bitch, shut the fuck up and just make a cup of coffee and sit down." Like that's where we're at now. Yeah. Kira knows that she's in a safe space with me. Well, Kira should fucking know she's in a safe space with me. And if I'm comfortable enough to say to her, "No, let's not watch this," then we're surrounded by good people.
That's fair.
It's like me skipping music in the car. No.
Kira,
it's the best thing ever. Kira's like, "Oh, I love that." No song.
I'm just getting into it and skip. Fuck's sake, Amy!
And then it's like, I remember there was one time Run the Jewels started playing, and it was like both of us, "Run the Jewel fast, run the Jewel fast, run, fuck this shit up." And I looked at her and she went, "Yeah, skip, it's over."
It's like that bit in The Simpsons where they're like going to the script. No. No. So the new Senna. So this is the Senna Netflix series that we watched.
No,
and it
the
was.
Wicker.
Oh.
But so you.
Hello. Hello. Look at the little tail. Here. Hello. Are you coming? Hello. 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 You alright there? You alright?
Oh, Oh,
He melted.
oh, I don't think that
No.
Hello.
Hi, Baba.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, baby.
So anyway, you were saying Netflix.
Yeah, so what we watched was the new Senna series that was made for Netflix, and like I said, obviously Formula 1 has had a bit of a boon in popularity the last few years. Obviously, thanks, ironically enough, to Netflix. So a lot of these kind of stories are starting to kind of come back into the kind of like common parlay, or they're stories that like the new generation of F1 fans don't know about. So they'll always hear about drivers like Senna. They'll hear drivers like
Ratzenberger.
or Ratzenberger as well. Yeah,
Because he doesn't get mentioned. He dies like the day before Senna.
Oh God.
yeah.
At the same track.
There was 4 massive crashes on the same weekend.
What track was this?
Imola.
Okay.
And they
Still
still
raced.
race on it today.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still race on it today. Now, they've done loads of stuff to try and like make it safer and all that sort of stuff. That's a separate conversation, but
Let's not go down the F1 rabbit
let's
hole.
not do that, no. But Ratzenberger, again, it's because he wasn't as famous. He doesn't get any recognition. Now, there's been documentaries done on him previously as well, just to actually explain who he was more than anything else. But like Senna's definitely one of those names where like he is, at least in terms of like even outside of Formula 1, he's a very interesting person. Because and what's fascinating is that the 2 documentaries, depending on, I think like the first one didn't have that much input from the family, the second one did. They were executive producers,
So they would not allow for his last girlfriend, because they didn't approve of her, to be shown in the movie. So she's
Was she an asshole?
No.
She was there for about 118.
grand total of 180
18
seconds. Yeah.
So she doesn't get named.
Was she an asshole?
No, it's just because so Senna had Senna was a shagger.
But did they have a good relationship?
As far as I know.
With his family.
Yeah.
No, him and his girlfriend
Yeah.
directly. They had a good relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then his family are wankers.
Yeah.
Well, see the family have
But we don't approve. They've rewritten history themselves.
Yes.
a little bit, yeah. They
Yes.
basically tried to, like, again, most of it, all the other biopics we spoke about, they wanted to kind of like sanitize the narrative a little bit.
Want to make themselves look a little bit better.
Partially, yeah. I mean, like the Senna
And Senna.
himself.
Do you know what? Fuck it. People follow him. They already know about all this. Why bother?
Well, here's the thing, you see. Here's the thing. Senna is such, like, okay, there's been loads of Brazilian F1 drivers. There's been loads of Brazilian F1 champions. Senna is the most recent one, hilariously enough. There was Piquet and Fittipaldi, but the thing was that Fittipaldi and Piquet are from rich families. It's like Brazil obviously has this huge kind of like disparity between the rich and the poor. And
We've all seen that episode of Simpsons.
we've seen that episode of The Simpsons. And
Ronaldo?
and there's
No, my children need to steal your stuff.
And again, there's a racial aspect of it. It is the rich white man and the poor black kid. That's what the 2 layers of Brazilian. And again, forgive me if I'm being simplistic there, but that's how it's perceived by certain people. So Senna, for whatever reason, was just seen as someone different. He just connected with the people. But Senna, fascinating enough, the original documentary that was done in 2010, that the new Netflix series doesn't feature, is the fact that Senna himself was fucking cracked. He's a cracked man. And again, you have to be a little bit cracked to be an F1 driver. Because you are basically going into a tin, like especially in the 70s, 80s, 90s, you're going into basically a tin box where you might die. Because the cars are very powerful. They're like V8s, V10s, 1,000 horsepower, and you've got this, and that's all. Like, you know what I mean?
It's
not
very
like,
common to break your legs.
yeah, it's constantly. Like, drivers break legs all the time because of a head-on collision because their feet are here. Nowadays, the cars are moved. The driver is moved now that they are not right at the front of the car.
They're behind the axle.
They're behind the axle as opposed to being in line or ahead of the axle back in certain
It's one of
times.
the problems with Mercedes.
Yeah.
Seasons ago.
Exactly, yeah. So with Senna, Senna had this famous quote basically that said when he, especially around Monaco, because there's a tight street circuit, so you have to be on the ball basically. If you make one mistake, and if even it's a slight mistake, you're in the barrier and you're like, no, fuck knows what happens. And Senna comes out with this fascinating quote, and it's in the original documentary, and it's spliced to just original footage of him driving around Monaco in this beautiful McLaren car. It's one of the most iconic ones. The white and red one. There's a Lego version of it, so that's, you know, it's made it. But it's just him going around, and he's like, yeah, and he's there.
There's a Lego version of
it. But like,
he knows how to make it relate to you.
yeah. But like so you see the footage of him, and he's got one hand on the wheel here, and the other hand on the gear shift, and he's just going and moving, and it's all automated. He is automatic, and he comes and he's in his native Portuguese, Brazilian slang. He's saying, at this point, I was no longer driving the car. God was driving the car through me. I was outside of the car. I was behind the car. I was looking at myself driving. So Senna himself genuinely believed that he was put on this earth by God to drive cars, to race. That's what he genuinely believed, and that's how he raced. He raced with absolutely no fear or condemnation because he thought that God was going to save him all the time. Which is a fascinating angle.
That's a very, very, very oh my God, literal translation of Jesus take the wheel.
Yeah, a little bit. But the thing is, that's what made him such a high performance athlete. That's what made him a
sneeze.
I know, but it's just it kind of came out of nowhere.
But like that's what made him. That's what made him a superstar. Was that he had that kind of messianic sense to him, so that the people of Brazil were energized by him. And that's what that
gets completely washed from the.
It does. Like the actual series basically say like they kind of purport Senna to be a man of the people type of thing. And it's like technically correct, but it's also because he was like media courted a lot, and he was like because he was so talented and broke out so fast that the country just idolized him. You know, this happens every now and then where like, you know, recently it was Max Verstappen, so the Dutch people are going, hey, we finally have a talent, let's go over there. When they've had like, you have Dutch footballers, you have Dutch fucking, like anyone else. Like
this is new though, this is new Dutch.
You have Dutch darts players, you know.
We have Dutch players. We have double Dutch
players, you know. But even in England, like they will always, whoever the next big star is, they'll gravitate towards them. So for a long time there was Hamilton. And again, there's a racial aspect to it because it's the first black man in Formula 1 for a very long time.
Isn't he a twat now?
He's always been a bit of a twat.
Okay, great.
In fairness, he's always been a bit like that.
Just want to make sure we're not being racist.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
what's it saying?
Hammer Time, was it?
No.
I believe that's MC Hammers.
No, that's his racial. He's got...
Grateful.
Yeah, grateful, yeah. That's what he always says. But yeah, that's...
Grateful.
So again, you always have these kind of periods that come around and they capture the imagination of their country and so forth. But Senna was definitely that, and they focus in on how he was like a cultural like influence on Brazil. Now,
you lazy son.
The biggest qualifier is, again, the original documentary was not made by Brazilians or Portuguese, but Netflix one was. Yeah. It was an all Brazilian production, all done in Portuguese, and everyone's dubbed over. And some of the
dubbing is so weird.
The dubbing is weird. It is weird.
It's just. It's because we weren't expecting it.
Yeah.
As well, we didn't realise until we started watching that it was a Brazilian Portuguese. Production, or Brazilian full stop rather here. So, I think that's part of why it was. I was like, why isn't this synced?
Oh. Yeah. So there's a few very amusing editorial, again, for F1 anoraks like myself and Kira, there's a few very funny editorial. We are anoraks, let's be fair.
Speak for yourself.
Who are you trying to lie to?
I'm not an anorak.
Who are you trying to lie to?
But we are.
Oh, sorry, I can't recognise the tracks if I tell him a left turn, right turn, left turn, right turn.
Go on.
Straight.
Shit. No, it's not Melbourne. Okay, never mind.
I'm picking random things.
Never mind. Okay.
So anorak.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Fanatic.
Good. Okay, do you know what? We'll leave it. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, if you're not an F1 fan, you would have missed out on the editorial choices. But I think the second episode, so Ayrton Senna went over to England because that's where all the karting opportunities are. So he's a Brazilian going to England for karting opportunities, and the hilarious thing is, like,
she's like, fuck off.
So they do this. They do a few things. Basically, they
it wasn't karting. It was Formula Ford.
It was a Formula Ford, wasn't it? Yeah. So he's at Formula Ford, and again, it's a fairly prestigious race championship, but it doesn't draw a crowd. It is just for like F1 managers and agents basically to see who's coming through. And the hilarious thing is they twist his rivalry with Martin Brundle, who everyone would know is the guy who does the commentary for Formula 1 now. So again, he was a driver once.
Was that the guy that was played from the dude from Inglourious Bastards in the movie version of this, of Rush or something?
Brundle didn't feature. No, you're thinking of James Hunt.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
James Hunt. James Hunt also features in this movie, and he's actually whoever they
played him
pick is
very well.
brilliant. Like,
Yeah, I was trying to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But,
See, I'm trying to. I'm trying to feign an
it's good.
interest. I'm trying to.
Yeah, it's
understand.
fair play. Thank you. But so basically, they report Martin Brundle's success over Ayrton Senna as racism, because when Senna crashes his car, he has this kind of shot of he's walking past all these fucking skinheads, like EDL style fucking racists. It's okay.
Britain.
If Britain in the 80s, it's a Thatcherite Britain, okay?
Mary
Understandable.
Thatcher before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And again, that's absolutely fine, right? Absolutely fine. But Martin Brundle did not win that because of racism or because of woke. He won because that's what F1 is. You make a better deal with other
Wasn't
people.
even F1.
Wasn't even F1. F2, F3, F2000s or whatever. Yeah. So you get a gig with Lotus
all
and all this sort of shit, right?
There's more.
Yeah. We have another pack there, Andy. Yeah.
It's all gone.
Oh.
This one.
Oh.
There's another strange one as well. This is great. So F1 has a lot of villains, and it's always the people in charge. So Jean-Marie Balesta was the honcho, the F1 president for a long time, and he's been featured in, I want to say, 3 or 4 F1 movies now, and he has been the villain in all of them. There is no way you can redeem this guy. He is a bastard and a half. But and he always comes around the same way. He looks like a mobster.
Meddling.
Yeah.
Meddling mobster.
So Senna's most famous rivalry was Alain Prost.
Okay.
And he's known as the Professor. He's kind of, I feel like he's booked as a very...
Also French.
Also very, yeah. And the first French driver that's been successful in a very long time. So there's a bit of politics in that as well. Because Balesta himself is French. So French driver comes in, French president, he wants his French guy to win. Simple as. So again, this is kind of racial undertone of well, Senna was never going to succeed because he's not French. It was that's obviously bullshit. So the twisting of the arc is that Prost, whoever they get to play Prost, by the way, is a dead ringer of him. Very well done. Very distinctive curly hair, big nose, perfect. And so Prost is booked as a kind of tactician. He's like a strategic driver. He brings the car home
That's
safe.
going to come across as very anti-Semitic now, the way he said that.
No, well, that's
Big nose! Sorry.
that's what Prost looks like. There's no other way of
Especially considering I think the guy who played Senna wore a prosthetic.
Didn't he? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So,
Excuse me, sorry.
So again, they do rivalry in a certain way, but again, it's the whole thing where Senna was held back by the powers that be type of shit. Where the real story is he just didn't know how to play politics. So again, it's the difference between the family saying he was held back and the reality being no, that's just Formula 1. It's a political sport, So then it comes to the actual acts, the day of his death. Or the weekend of his death, I should say. And they go through now in fairness,
I was just put because of all this.
That's why I changed the other jumper.
That's why
Can
I
you
put.
stop shedding?
That's why I put it on you
Stop
because I was
shedding.
you already have so many of
You've
it.
got too many hair.
I'm just looking at the time wise.
Yeah, no, this is my last
fair
bit
bit of
now,
this. Yeah, so
yeah.
do this one and then I have a closing question before I'll do the outro.
good
then.
stuff, yeah.
How long has it been recording?
Nearly an hour and 40.
Yeah, but we doubt the first 15 minutes were you guys singing Disney and a few cuts in between, so
16 minutes, but yeah.
thereabouts, yeah, about 20 minutes off.
Yeah.
So it comes to the last episode then, which is the crash, and to its credit, it does feature everything that happened that weekend. So there's another Brazilian driver, Barrichello, and he's kind of perceived to be his friend in the paddock. Essentially, he's here's another Brazilian driver. Hey, look, isn't that great? But on the Friday, he crashes. He hits a barrier head on, and he swallows his tongue, and he chokes to death. Now Barrichello's okay; he's still alive to this day and stuff.
He was
very
racing for
lucky.
another 10 years.
Yeah, he was very, very lucky. And again, true story was that Senna came out from his paddock, rushed down, and made sure to see he was okay. And then he went back to his paddock, and then he said, we should stop the race. All this sort of stuff. Now, another weird decision is his team boss at the time is a guy called Sir Frank Williams. Very well-known name in Formula 1. He was a racer himself, but he was a motorbike racer. He had an awful crash, and he was hospitalised. He was wheelchair-bound since. He had basically a kind of a type of motor neuron disease because of it. And he is always known as a
That's
kind of
very brave.
but he is a soft, understated gentleman. He's a very nice man, and no one has ever said that. But in the Senna Netflix, he's a complete dickhead. He goes like, you're gonna get in that fucking car now, and the other stuff's like, Frank Williams has never said anything like that ever. It's like, and it's only because
He wouldn't have done it.
He never would have done that. And the only reason why is because the Senna family didn't like him. They didn't like him because he gave him a shit car that nearly killed him, and they've blamed Williams for the car since, which is clearly bullshit.
That's what it is. So they did.
They needed somebody.
They needed a boogeyman, essentially. Yeah.
That's the thing is, when anytime accidents happen though as well, and I'm not saying just, but anytime there is an accident and it has a freak accident, everybody wants to be able to blame somebody.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because you don't want it's one of those things. It's like there's no fucking way that this just happened by chance.
Exactly.
And everybody's always like, there's no way this was chance. There's no way someone's at fault.
Yeah.
And it is always the kind of thing.
Senna or Ratzenberger's that where the steering shaft broke?
Supposedly Senna's was the one that the steering shaft broke. So what they believe happened was Imola has these kind of like weird kind of like ridged curves. It's basically to stop people from cutting the corners. It's a very like
probably
jinky.
End up rewatching it. I'm pretty sure it was a Netflix documentary. That
You'll probably see the crash anyway. But like basically, he takes a corner too tight.
I'm not watching it just to see the crash.
I know, but
I can Google that.
Yeah, you can Google that. Yeah. But he takes the curve too much, the car gets lifted, steering shaft breaks, he goes straight through into a forest, essentially, and dies from there.
Like Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
Sports' greatest injuries.
Yeah. But that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like, it's an accident. This stuff can happen.
Yeah, shit happens.
And what I will say, at least I'll give
God was taking a day off that day.
Yeah. But yeah, especially
Death wasn't.
God's driver died. You know. And again, there's always been these kind of fascinating conspiracy theories, like people reasoning with the death and stuff like that. It's like, was he a martyr to his own cause? It's like, no, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
But it's a fascinating.
They tried to kind of imply.
They tried to imply it, and Brazil as a country mourning, we're thinking like, well, there has to be a blood sacrifice. There must be something we can do. And like, funny enough, actually, they were true to the reality, which was Senna helped found a Grand Prix drivers union.
Yeah.
Because they were ununionized since your man Balestra was in charge, and hilarious enough, Max Mosley took over. You know, son of the fascists. Mm-hmm. Max Mosley was in charge of F1 for a long time.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, along with Bernie Eccleston.
Yeah.
You know, so Max Mosley is a bastard in that one episode, which is true because he is a bastard in real life. You know, actually, again, son of a fascist. So. You know, he was booked accordingly, shall we say. So again, there's some lovely little scenes between Senna and Niki Lauda. The guy who plays Niki Lauda is very good, all burned up and stuff. And there's a lovely little exchange between Senna and Prost, which did happen in real life as well, to be fair, where they're on the stands going...
And which version is this in?
This is the
Netflix.
new Netflix,
the new
yeah.
Netflix, okay,
yeah.
Yep.
So they have people acting now like Lauda and Hunt and Prost and so forth, and Barrichello and so they have all these people playing the roles, and they all do it very well. The Senna crash is really well done, where everyone goes, oh, fuck. And it's like, you all know immediately he's dead.
Yeah, it's so it is a recommendation.
Yeah, I would recommend it. Okay. Yeah, but again, it's like the Priscilla debate where like you need to have a big grain of salt going in because there is a sanitized truth to it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's grand. That's okay.
So there you go. Yeah.
So my closing question then would be, because we kind of finished it off on biops.
Yeah.
Without going into any details, what would be one biopic movie that you would recommend?
Ooh, okay.
That's not quick fire enough.
Yeah, come back to me. Yeah.
Quick fire, guys, quick fire. I'm shocked.
can't do
I'm literally
quick fire.
shocked you didn't say A League of Their Own. Shocked you did not say A League of Their Own.
I don't know whether I consider that a biopic.
It's technically it's based on a true event. Historical.
Yeah,
event.
but
This is why
I might have to get a refresher.
This is why we're saying these are something that you shouldn't really have to think of.
Yeah, this is the thing you see.
I'm
It's a
sorry,
quick
I
fire
don't
for a
have
reason.
Deer in the headlights, Amy. Deer in the headlights.
Okay,
Are you
so
stuck?
right, so what we'll
Are
do
you
is then
stuck?
we'll edit this so it does look like everyone had one off the.
Give me a
No.
minute.
off
Let me
the
just have a
thing.
look. Like.
That's why I said we'll edit it as if we
Why
all
do you
had
keep
one. Go.
sneezing?
So a biopic that you would recommend, without going into details, just what would you recommend?
The League of Their
One
Own.
that's actually made of someone that I would like to see a
Usness!
biopic made of.
Yeah.
No, it's already made.
Oh.
So it's one that you'd recommend. For example, mine is We Were Soldiers.
Oh,
Usness! Could you stop sneezing? Are you
I'm
stuck?
going to go for the Freddie Mercury one.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody, yeah.
You need help. There you go. Is that better? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you
What
go.
about you?
We Were Soldiers.
You making a nest?
See, I'm still sitting here as well, you know that, right? What the fuck?
I need to wash this blanket again.
Hold on. Let's see where she's going with this now. Where you
She's wiping her face.
Where are you going with this?
She's making a nest.
Directly where I'm still sitting. Well, I'm actually gonna pop that just there.
No worries.
Right, so have you found one?
No, I haven't actually. Fuck yeah, I'll default to Senate because that's the most recent one I've watched, and I would recommend it. So
Okay.
I just can't think of a biopic I've watched that is immediately you need to watch it, drop everything and watch it now. So Senat's probably my closest because it's just in my mind. It's in my head recently. Yeah. So the Damned United is actually quite good actually as well.
There you go.
Yeah, the Damned United.
Damned United. What was your one?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody is his one.
Yeah.
Neither on.
Are you definitely sure you want to go with that one? And you're not just taking a cop out because I said it. Because Hidden Figures would be included in those types of those types of
that's
movies.
this the white savior aspect of Hidden Figures. So,
But but you know what I mean though when I'm saying it for.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go A League of Their Own then from Kira.
Yeah.
And my one will be We Were Soldiers.
Okay. Perfect.
So thank you for joining us. What we're watching?
What are we watching?
What we're watching? What we're watching?
What are we watching, mate?
Actually, this has actually been one of those. This has actually probably been the best version of the show because there hasn't actually been a meltdown in between. There hasn't been an argument.
This one, everyone's just so civilized with their conversation. It's great. Yeah.
It's great when Aaron hosts the show, isn't it?
I mean, honestly, wouldn't even miss him. If anything, Tina actually took his place.
Tina did snore through the majority of the introduction, yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't paying attention, so I mean, it's just like when Aaron's constantly on his phone.
Yeah.
So, so thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time. With or on our, who knows?
With or without you. With or without you.
And you yourself.
And to play us out.
Yourself away. Oh, you want to get in on this? Hello.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Hello, Ross. Yeah.